Just a couple of days in with the Nokia Lumia 1520, and there's already a lot I'm finding out about this supersized Windows Phone 8 device. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. Join me and we'll talk about the pros and cons of Nokia's newest big device. I've had the Nokia Lumia 1520 for a couple of days, and it brings that large phablet form factor to AT&T and to Windows Phone fans as well. So this thing joins a lineup of other phablet devices, including the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, the LG Optimus G Pro, the HTC One Max. Point is, if you like these devices, you like bigger sized devices for content creation or consumption, you got a lot of different choices to choose from in today's marketplace. The Lumia 1520 is one of those, and I've been working with it for a couple of days, and there are a lot of things I like about this. Now, just taking this kind of with a grain of salt, because obviously personal preferences are very different, this is standalone, or single-handedly rather, the best Windows Phone 8 device out on the market to date. It's one of the best devices you can get, one of the best Windows Phone 8 devices you can get. The specs are finally up to par with other Android devices, so you've got a quad-core 2.2 gigahertz Snapdragon 800 CPU, you've got a 6-inch 1080p HD display, you've got a 20 megapixel camera on the back, a nice big battery as well, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of internal storage. So my point is, this thing is, at least at the spec race, it's up to par with Android devices in the marketplace. No longer will you hear, man, Windows Phone 8 devices don't have great specs or aren't up to date, at least with the current crop of devices. This one obviously leading the way. Very impressed with the overall specs. This thing is a big phone, don't get me wrong, and if there's one thing I've noticed, I can barely hold this or barely wrap my fingers around it. I don't think I can actually, oh, there we go, I just touched. Barely touched my hands around this device, but it's really a svelte, good-looking device. As you can see here, you got your volume rocker on the right side with your power button and camera, so not really deviating very much from the overall Nokia design strategy here. 3.5mm headphone jack up top, micro USB charging port, and a micro SD card slot as well, along with that micro SD, micro SIM card slot, micro USB charging port. Lots of micros on this device. Your camera, of course, on the back. The biggest issue I've had with this device, at least in terms of a usability standpoint or an ergonomic standpoint, you're seeing it on camera right now. I'm dropping it because there's no real place to put your hands around the edges. It's definitely a curved, kind of tapered device, and compare that to something like the Galaxy Note 3, for example, where there's a decided place for you to put your thumbs on this device where I can move it around and it's not going to fall out of my hands, versus something like this where it's a little bit harder to do that, and the weight of the device causes it to shift around in my hands, and it's a little bit easier to drop because the edges are tapered. Again, very similar with something like the LG Optimus G Pro as well, and even to a lesser extent the HTC One Max. But overall, really impressed with this device. It's fast, it's fluid. I can't say I notice a huge speed boost in Windows Phone 8, but that's really more of a testament to the way Windows Phone 8 works, to say that, hey, it works just as well on a quad-core processor as it does on a dual-core processor. But you can see here, 6-inch display, room for 3 tiles across, or 3 medium-sized tiles across. I've customized it and made it my own with orange here. I've got my American Airlines app, one of my favorites, which kudos to American. They just updated the app. Really happy to see that. Flight Aware, of course, because I fly a lot. And, of course, all the different applications, Weather Channel, battery, etc. Now, this thing has a nice battery, and I will tell you, combination of standby, and I always try to do this in the first impression videos. I try to do it a combination of standby and talk time just to see how long I can juice out of the battery with something that's pretty close to what I would consider to be my day-to-day use. And that's it, a combination of standby and actual use case. I'm standing at 51% right now, and this sucker is still rocking and rolling. I've not charged this since I've started working with it when I got it a couple of days ago. So hey, 3 days, according to this, 3 days, 22 hours left. Really an impressive battery life over here. But overall, taking advantage of that 6-inch display, really nice for when you're doing content consumption, be it, browse the web, be it Instagram, which actually just came out a few minutes ago on Windows Phone. Don't even have it installed yet on this device. But you can see PhoneDog here just as a test. Pinch to zoom, very responsive. This device is fast, and thanks to the big display, it's far easier than ever to look at content on the device. But I've got to ding this for something that I would ding the HTC One Max for example. There's no real content creation opportunities here. I mean, imagine, and I hate to use car references in comparison to smartphones, but imagine if you got, a Toyota Corolla engine and specs put into a Toyota Camry. It just doesn't make sense. It's a larger car, you have better specs or better, leather, for example, or a bigger engine to accommodate the larger device. This is very similar to something like that. You're seeing, a device that, hey, it's been upgraded from the spec standpoint, but you're seeing literally the same software kind of just transported over onto the Lumia 1520. So it doesn't bring anything to the table where it's like, if I were sitting at the table with these people, I'd say, hey, we got a 6-inch display to work with. Let's do some content creation opportunities. Drawing on the screen, the S Pen, I often reference that in these type of videos because I think it's a great implementation. These content creation where you can really use it, because that's what you do on a tablet, right? I mean, it's all about the content creation on a tablet. This is a hybrid device. I think there's a huge opportunity for that. Other than that, really impressed overall with the performance. Photos here, for example, camera roll. 20.7 megapixel camera. Here are just a couple of test shots that I shot over the past couple of days. I've got the keyboard here, and you can see really nice clear images here, clean. Hold on, let me back out of that. I'll go into this one. And you can see little things, including the dust and dirt that I've got in the keyboard, which is probably more gross than anything else. But very impressed overall with the performance of this device. The battery life is good. I'm customizing it and making it my own rather. And I'm excited to continue to put this to the test and tell you more about it in the full video review. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com. In the meantime, between now and the review, let me know what you want to see covered on this device. I'm on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron. I'm on Facebook at Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. Shoot me a note, say, hey, I want to see X, Y, and Z covered on this device. Don't literally say X, Y, and Z. Fill that in with like applications or certain features about Windows Phone 8, because I think it's important to cover as much as possible, including this nifty little case Nokia sent over with a review unit. So thanks to them, they know, or I assume they know, red is one of my favorite colors on a device itself. So here's Nokia's ProCam, as you can see. I can modify the picture. And of course, I've got a nice case to put my phone in and put it in my pocket and carry it around without it getting scratched up. Keep it locked on the site for more. Let me know what you'd like to see covered in the full video review of the Nokia Lumia 1520. And as always, I'll see you next time.